Hi, it's day 5, and 5 represents grace. And I want to thank each of you for gracing me with your presence, for being here and participating. So now let's get to the ingredients. It's all about the cauliflower today, the cruciferous vegetable. Hope I said that right. So today we're going to be juicing. Our juice recipe is going to be cauliflower juice. And we're going to pair that with some cucumbers and pear. And then our raw food recipe is going to be cauliflower mashed potatoes. So we're going to mix in some cauliflower, some nutritional yeast, some green onions, some soaked cashews, and some onion and garlic powder, and some Italian seasonings. So I have everything already cut up. So let's just go ahead and get started with the juice first. So again, we're going to turn this on. Oh, and measurements. So we're going to use about 3 cups of the cauliflower. I would say about a half of a cucumber, and then about 2 to 3 pears. If you've never juiced cauliflower before, well, here's a look. I haven't either, so I would really like to see what the juice looks like. Really anxious to see what it tastes like, because cauliflower can have a really strong flavor to it. So we're going to try to dilute that a little bit with the cucumber and sweeten it up a little bit with the pear. I have to keep reminding myself to slow down with this juicer, because I'm so used to using a blender, and the blender is like high speed and it spins really fast. So whenever I make my smoothies, I'm always trying to rush to get the ingredients in so they can blend up. Well, with the juicer, I don't have to rush because it's really slow, and then I just have to wait for it to go down, chew it up, and spit out the juice. So we got a few more handfuls to go. And you can see the pulp coming out right here. It's coming out really, really dry. And actually, I'm going to dump this before we put in our pears and cucumbers, because we can actually repurpose the pulp either as mashed potatoes or cauliflower rice. And I'll show you what I did with the cauliflower before we started juicing it. So I think that's about enough. I used about 2/3 of what was in the bowl. We're going to save the rest for later. I'm going to do a couple more. Beautiful. So we're going to open up the spout and let it out. Nice. I don't even want to try to taste this right now. I know it's going to be probably a little bitter. So what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to dump the cauliflower pulp, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is what cauliflower juice looks like. And then we're going to add in the cucumber and add in the sweetness from the pears. Now what I did was I separated the pulp out because I didn't want the pear pulp and the cucumber pulp to mix in with this. So from this pulp, we can actually just go ahead and use this as our cauliflower mashed potatoes. So what I did ahead of time was, and this is a trick that I learned, and you could probably use it too, especially when it comes to cauliflower. Now I can eat raw cauliflower in a salad or just eat it by itself, but cauliflower does have a really strong taste. So if you kind of want to take a little bit of that spicy bite, what you do is you chop up your cauliflower, put it like on a baking pan, spread it out, and put it in the freezer. Let it freeze, and when you take it out to thaw out, it'll be really soft, and it'll have a little bit of extra water in it that'll kind of take out some of that spiciness, is what I found. And when we add in our herbs and spices to the mashed potatoes, you probably would barely taste the cauliflower taste. So that's what we're looking forward to doing. So that was a trick I learned. And I believe it kind of dilutes some of the taste, some of the strong taste in our juice as well. So that's a trick. Freeze the cauliflower, take it out, let it thaw out. Because what happens is when the cauliflower freezes, it gets ice crystals. And when those ice crystals begin to melt, it actually expands inside the vegetable. So it has a little bit of extra water in it. And I believe that extra water inside of it helps to dilute some of the flavor from the cauliflower. Okay, so let's continue with our pears and our cucumbers. And another reason why I'm probably rushing is because we're doing this on camera and I don't want the videos to be too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish juicing the pears, finish juicing the cucumbers, and I'll come back with our finished product. All right, our juice is ready. I did add 1 extra pear. So for this recipe, you're going to use 1 whole cauliflower. Again, I put it in the freezer to freeze it. And then I pulled it out and let it thaw out. And then we juiced it. Again, the water from the cauliflower, I believe, helps cut down on the strong taste of the cauliflower. We added, I would say, about 3 to 4 pears and 1 whole cucumber. Now, another thing that you can do is you can actually strain your juice. So I have a fine mesh strainer here. And I'm just going to pour it out so that any particles, any chunks that may not have gotten ground up, any extra fiber left in there can come out. So you can already see here at the bottom of this strainer, there's some fiber and I see a couple of chunks in there. See all of that? So that's what we just strained out. You can strain it again if you want, but I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to do it once. And then we're going to pour it in our jar here. I might need another jar. And I hope I don't make a mess. Oh, there we go. Uh-oh. Got a little excited there. Just overflow just a little bit. I'm going to drink it anyway. So here we go. We'll take that out. Voila. So I'm just going to do like this. That's good. That is delicious. A slight sweetness from the pear. You do taste the cauliflower, but it's very faint. Very faint, and I believe the cucumber helped with that as well. Look at that nice color. It almost matches my jacket. The skin from the cucumber and the skin from the pear actually gives it this lovely green color. So we're getting the nutrients from that as well. Cauliflower, it helps to fight against cancer. It's anti-inflammatory, antiviral, antibacterial, and just 1 cup of cauliflower gives you your 100% vitamin C intake for the day. So now let's go and make some cauliflower mashed potatoes. Let me get some more of this. That is delicious. That's delicious. Okay. So again, we're just going to use the pulp that came out from our juice into our mashed potatoes. And that was another reason why I froze the cauliflower, so that when it comes out, it already comes out moist and soft. If I hadn't have frozen it, the pulp would have come out probably a little bit more crumbly, which would have been fine too, because we're going to put this all in a blender anyway and smooth it down. So that's our blender. So the recipe calls for about 3 cups of cauliflower. So I'm going to estimate that this is probably about 2.5, which is good. So we'll just use all of that right there. Now, to get our cauliflower nice and creamy and smooth, we're going to use a cup of soaked cashews. You want to soak your cashews at least 4 to 6 hours in advance. If you can't, then you can put them in some hot water and let them sit for about an hour or two. So let me pour off the water. So by soaking the cashews, they're going to get creamy, and we're activating the enzymes in the cashews. And really, you're supposed to soak your nuts before you eat them anyway, and the nuts that you eat should be raw. And this is about a half a cup of cashews soaked. I know you've had smoothies before, and when you go to the smoothie restaurant or a juice bar, and they ask you what kind of milk you want in your smoothie, and they have almond milk. Well, almonds is just simply almonds blended with water, and you have almond milk. So really, the soaked cashews along with our liquids is basically just going to be the milk inside of our cauliflower mashed potatoes. Okay? Next, we're going to add some nutritional yeast. This is an ingredient that's used by a lot of raw foodists. It has vitamin B in it, niacin, folate, and all of those. And it's going to give you a really, really nice flavor. I'm going to add that. And instead of cutting up an onion and a garlic, I just have some onion powder and some onion garlic. 1 teaspoon of onion powder and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And then I have about 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. So got some dried herbs in there. And then of course I want to add in my salt and pepper as always. So a little bit of salt, I would say just a dash, and pepper. And we're going to put this in the blender and blend it up. Now I may need a little bit of water, but if I want it like really, really thick, I won't add any water because again, the water is already in the cauliflower and in the nuts. So if I want it a little bit creamy, I do have the option of adding a little bit of olive oil. Let me get my plunger as well because I might have to push it down. Here we go. And will that fit? So let's do it like this. There we go. In fact, let's just pull this forward without knocking anything else over. Let's get it from underneath the counter. We got it. All right, this is going to be loud, so just bear with me for just a minute. We'll get this started. Boy, that was an arm workout. But it's all mixed in. And it's really nice and creamy. Now you could have used a food processor, an S-blade. That would have worked as well. But I like mine a little bit extra creamy, as you can see. Let me pull this out so you can see what it looks like. Yes. Oh my gosh, that smells good. See that? Look how thick it is. It's not even falling off. Now that is some mashed potatoes. Look at that. Nice and thick and creamy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in just, I could either put in some olive oil, which I won't because if you want to leave it oil free, you can. I think I'm just going to put in a little bit of water. Let me find some water. just to loosen it up just a little bit. And it's probably just about like a tablespoon, just a little bit. Oh yeah, I can already see the difference. In fact, I don't even think I need to blend it anymore. I can just mix it in like this. So let's give it one more turn in the blender. Let's see if we can just get it a little bit smoother. I think that's going to do it. Alright, so we're going to go like this. Oh. You got to taste this. You have to make this. Man, if you lived close, you could actually come and get some right now. Oh my gosh. That is yummy. If you've never had raw cauliflower mashed potatoes before, this is the recipe to try. Oh my goodness. I taste the garlic powder coming through, the onion powder, the fresh herbs. I will put a little bit more salt. Y'all know I'm a salt person, so I'll put a little bit more. Just a little bit more. That is good. So, let me plate this up and I'll be right back. So here are our ingredients for today. Our cauliflower pear juice and our cauliflower mashed potatoes. This is so good. I had to get low for this one. This is so good. If you've never had it, I'm telling you, you gotta try it. It is silky smooth. It's not strong. You taste all the herbs and flavors. This is so yummy. And the juice is sweet with a mild hint of the cauliflower. Alright, so it's day 5. We have our word for the day. Let's see what it is. A plus. Alright, so what have you done that deserves an A plus today? Share in the comments below. What have you done today? Whether it's reach a goal, continue in a good habit, you bless someone with some encouraging words, or you help somebody out, you helped a stranger, you helped a family member. What did you do that was A plus? Well, one of the things I think that you did is A plus is joining me in this 24 days of raw juices and raw food recipes and our juice adventure together. So thank you, and I will see you tomorrow.